Collingwood, the Cats, Saturday night. Let's talk about it. So before we jump into this, these videos, these previews could not be possible without the support of Swish. Swish, if you don't know, you can jump onto their website, get a personalized video from, the consecutive streak holder, Jack Crisp, 400 plus gamer, Scott Pendlebury, Norm Smith medalist, Bobby Hill, soon to be Brownlow medalist, Nick Daicos, all the Collingwood players you can imagine. Use code Swoop for 10% off, or go to the link down below. Mother's Day is coming up. Get your mum something nice. Get her to get Bobby to wish her a happy Mother's Day. Links down below. Swoop Luke, 10% off Swish. Thank you so much for your support. On Saturday night, the Pies take on Geelong, MCG. It's our home game. I reckon there'll be about 80 to 85,000 because it's not sold out, so there are still seats available. You need to upgrade your membership though to get those seats, or get a member's seat there. So it's gonna be a huge game. When Collingwood play Geelong, it's always a really big game. I've still got scars from 2011. I don't know what you guys if you remember that, or I know some of you will. So I've still got scars from that and the countless times that they've sort of beaten us. But this game is big for a lot of reasons. Yes, it's Jack Crisp's consecutive streaks record. He's the new Iron Man, and I've actually got a doco coming out on Thursday. So that's going to be incredible. It's nearly 10 minutes about his journey from steak knives to AFL immortality. So that's a little bit of fun. But that's awesome. That's a storyline. It's a side storyline to the game itself. Collingwood are 6-1. Geelong just got their pants pulled down against the Blues. And to the Blues' credit, they just figured out how to beat Geelong. And like I said it on Footy Abroad, I thank Carlton for that because now we know the blueprint on how to beat Geelong. Looking at that game, so I watched that game because I thought Geelong were going to win. I thought it was going to be a bit of a hate watch. But they just hate pressure. Carlton pressured them for 3 quarters and Geelong were just fumbling the ball. It was a very un-Geelong-like performance. So I know that if it's an un-Geelong-like performance last week, it's going to be a very Geelong-like performance this week. But there's a couple of things that Carlton did that we can emulate and that we have been emulating. Carlton scored 46 points off intercepts. So that is our bread and butter. We are not only the #1 defensive team in the competition, keeping teams to an average of 66 points, but we score most of our goals and most of our points off of forward half intercepts. That's how we beat Brisbane. That's how we beat Essendon as well. So I think that is a really big area that we are going to be focusing on, just keeping that pressure. We're known to be the pressure Pies, and we love that pressure. And we're forming not a new era, but just a new game plan. And like Craig McRae said after that game, we've got a new gear now. It's not, we might win this game by 3 points because we come back and let teams in. We're putting teams to the sword, and there is not one team I would love to put to the sword more than Geelong. So Geelong, as we know, they have stars just everywhere, right? Jeremy Cameron kicked 4 goals last week. Patrick Dangerfield is scary, especially when he goes up forward. And, that's the role that I want to see DeGoey play. And I've said it on, I don't know if I said it on a review or a preview or some other video, but that's the role I want to see DeGoey play. DeGoey is going to be better for his run against Brisbane, against Essendon as well. He'll come into his own again. What Carlton did was they shut down Max Holmes, and then it was pretty much just Bailey Smith just doing what he could. And although he got like nearly 30 disposals, kicked a goal, he wasn't as influential as he was over the last couple of weeks. Geelong's midfield doesn't bat that deep, right? So if you can shut 1 or 2 of those down, I think that goes a long way to winning. I know we don't play a hard tag, and I'm not saying, a hard tag, but put some body on Holmes. So because he's one of the quickest guys in the AFL, I think he nearly, did they do the grand final run in the 100-meter sprint and he nearly beat Beau McCreary? Whatever it may be, you shut down Max Holmes' run, you're shutting down Geelong's run. Geelong are kind of like Hydra though, sort of like what Collingwood are, where you sort of tag Nick Daicos, some other guy will pop up. So you're going to put your effort into Max Holmes, I reckon, but Bailey Smith might get off the mark. If you put your effort into Bailey Smith, Max Holmes will get off the mark. What I love about Collingwood is it's not just a tag, or it's not just one player, it's a team effort. And the guys say it time and time again, it's not just the defenders, it's a team defense. And what we've seen over these last couple of weeks with Collingwood, and what was different between the game against the Giants and our last 6 games, was that, you know, with the Giants, we were all crowding, all getting at these players, and then that was going over the top. Right now, we're pulling back. It's only like two or something guys coming in. We're pulling back. We're spreading wide. We're blocking the corridor. The corridor is where everyone just loves to run, and that's what Geelong do best, right? They run, they streak through the corridor. You saw Bailey Smith do it numerous times last week. But then they was forced to play wide. And when they're forced to play wide and they're trying to sort of come back in, they were missing handballs. They were missing kicks. Another thing that the Blues did last week that we don't typically see from a Collingwood side is that kick and mark game. Now, when you kick a mark, you take the ball away from Geelong. They can't get the ball. They can't win, right? Kind of like what the Giants did to us in that opening round. Now, I think the best offense is a good defense, clearly, and a good tactic is to sort of kick and mark. But I think we're ranked 17th in as a kick and mark game, and we go too slow, and that just won't work out. So we're going to have to play our game. Sure, there'll be elements where we do sort of possess the ball and keep it off the Cats, but I think they just won't be able to just keep up with our run and gun. And what we've seen for the last, I want to say 3 weeks, since gather round, since that Sydney game where we've just come out and pummeled teams, and keeping them to a very, very low score. Dan McStay out is huge, right? We know what he does to the structure of the team, and, you know, Geelong's backmen, they couldn't keep up with Mackay and Curnow. Unfortunately, we don't have a Mackay and Curnow in our team. What we do have is we have a Tim Membry, we have a Jordan De Goey that can go there, Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott, Lockie Schultz should come back. Brody Marchuk, yes, there's no Dan McStay, but you would think that Mason Cox comes in and they double team in the ruck. And I do look, as much as I've sort of shied away from putting Cox into the team, now that Dan McStay comes out, I dare say he pretty much plays because you need that second ruck. I would love to see Charlie West debut. I think that'll be a few weeks down the road. So Mason Cox, if he can just snag 1 or 2, he's going to send the Geelong defenders into a tailspin, right? And yes, they'll probably be planning for Mason Cox to come in. We know that. But when we played Geelong last time, we didn't have Tim Membry. You know, Jamie Elliott wasn't playing the best as he is. Lockie Schultz wasn't playing as well as he was, you know, in that Carlton game, coincidentally, and now, you know, coming back from that hamstring. But now we have that 3-tiered talls. Brody Marchuk plays up the ground. Membry and Cox can stay down. Darcy Cameron floats into the back. So I think we do have Geelong's measure, and I think we have it well. If we can put Geelong just to the sort of, even, you know, even if we're winning by, you know, 20, 25, 30 points, that would give me a lot of confidence for the rest of the season. I still think that this game, kind of like the Brisbane game, is a free hit because, yes, even though Geelong went down last week, they're still a really, really good side. And we know that these Cats literally have 9 lives. You cannot knock them down. They're not going to be anywhere near the bottom of the ladder. They're going to keep competing. We are going to see a Geelong revived on Saturday. A big point is clearances. I think Geelong, from memory, were over -12 in clearances, which is one of their biggest differentials for years and years and years. If we can get on top there, that's where Ned Long comes into play. That's where Nick Daicos, you know, even bloody Darcy Cameron or Mason Cox just banging the ball through, steal side bottom. The beauty about what Collingwood's been able to do, we were very Nick reliant last season because we didn't have those players. We had all those injuries. Steele Sidebottom was playing on the outside. Now we've got Steele playing on the inside. You try and shut down Nick, Steele pops up, Pendlebury pops up, Ned Long pops up. You try and shut down Steele Sidebottom, Nick pops up. You know what I mean? So we have the joy of depth now. And I think one of the key crucial cogs to our midfield is Ned Long. And I wouldn't have said this 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, but Ned Long, when we start, you know, going on these winning streaks or just winning games, you'll see Ned Long pop up for 6 tackles, you know, 4, something crazy where, okay, he's doing that bit there so Nick Daicos can get off the leash. Dan Houston coming back last week leaves Josh Daicos, and he can play his offensive game. So I think we're in pretty good stead to be able to take on Geelong, and I don't think they have the answers. And watching them last week, you just apply a little bit of pressure, and that's what it all comes down to, pressure. You apply a little bit of pressure to the Cats, and they will crumble. They will crumble like what's a cat related pun? What's something that cats use that crumble? I don't know, like whiskers. You know the whiskers, little things, the little biscuits. They crumble, right? They crumble when you eat them. We'll eat them up. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That's Collingwood's bread and butter. Geelong are second in clangers per game at the moment in the AFL. Second, right? Which means that they're clanging everywhere. They're clanging left, right, and centre, right? That is where we just mop it up, we eat it up, repeat forward inside 50s. Carlton had over 60 inside 50s. We can do that as well. It's just about converting, because we know that converting is a big thing with Collingwood. We just can't seem to do it at the moment as well as we should. For patches, we have been doing it, but we have to, when we get the ball in, we just have to make it count. And what I like about our defense as well, you know, we talked about the forwards and kicking goals and stuff. What I like about the defense is Darcy Moore is going to come back in, and then we're going to see a more solid defense. But look at last week where we played so well without Darcy Moore, and we kept Essendon to a respectable scoreline. So I think that we should just be able to, and this is not me getting cocky or whatever, we should just be able to absolutely annihilate Geelong. My big calls and predictions. I was talking to, I mentioned him again. I don't know if he watches my stuff, but Guy from training said, wouldn't it be nice, and Guy is his name, wouldn't it be nice if they just chucked Darcy Moore in the forward line and, you know, have Billy Frampton chop out in the ruck? Because Billy Frampton has been training with the rucks. We'll see again on Thursday what training looks like. But could you imagine Darcy Moore in the forward line and just really shocking Geelong and just being bang? Like, oh, Darcy Moore's in the forward. What is going on? How are we supposed to... He came to us as a forward. Would be interesting. Not going to happen, but just would be interesting if you wanted to throw the magnets around. My big call is after he's signed on till 2030, Bobby Hill is going to pop up for 3 or 4 goals. I can feel it in my stomach. My prediction is that we're going to win by, I think we're going to win by 30 plus points. I really think this is the time where we, and now I know we've won 6 in a row and we're first on the ladder, but this is where we announce that we are the team to beat in 2025. Let me know your thoughts down below. Also, I've got part 2 of my chat with the Collingwood president, Barry Karp, coming out on Wednesday night. So enjoy that. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.